There was still a Wilbeck around somewhere. I will just call them giants from now on because they are
Ready
giants.
and waiting.
There's another acolyte. He paralyzed my. I hate it. I hate it. Okay, I guess this is one of these areas where you save after every fight, because every fight can turn ugly. I'm sorry for all this repeating.
Very well.
Yeah. Shut your mouth. So you admit you are thieves. Well, you find that this time we shall not fall so easily. Gods, the intruders have returned. So, you cast this. You cast nothing, you attack him.
I'm here. Watch this. Yes.
Kill. Guarding a temple with giants.
Very well. Give the word.
Sheesh. I'm only level 5, guys. I'm not like level 20 and an epic godlike character. You cannot save at this time because there's a spell going on. Save. Temple fight 1. I guess I will do 2 or 3 and alternate between them. Surely. Yeah, he agrees with me.
You want me? My pleasure.
It's nice. I still go the left route first. But since I now know that all 3 giants are coming, I can make preparations. Well, you are free to attack him.
What do you need?
It is a shame that you must resort to violence.
Yes, it's really a shame that we have to resort to violence against giants who kill us. Oh great, no they are not coming. Oh, Ruberg saved us a spell, wonderful. Glass cloud. Yeah.
I see.
So, while these spells are going on, I will heal myself in my party.
Done.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to a fireball spell. And then again, when these acolytes are always casting a dispel magic spell, I don't think it's wise to buff up before we fight, unless I know I will just fight giants.
Ready and waiting.
Serena Pure takes 50 and 30
Right.
piercing damage. She just took about 30 damage. Just like that.
Give me a target. I'm here.
That's kind of my problem with... Ooh, we're with that.
Whatever you say.
That's my problem with less but very powerful enemies. In my opinion, they are a lot harder to... yes. Ooh, magical shield. I did have this last time. They are a lot harder to make proper, because they can really just kill you instantly. Temple fights too. That's why I prefer stuff like a huge battle, like a lot of enemies. You have to use tactics, like there are casters, range, and stuff like that. It's easier, in my opinion. Well, not easier, but more fun and more fair. What kind of boots are these? Boots of the Many Paths, created by Gnomish illusionist in 931 DR. The boots of many paths have been worn by a number of adventurers who have sold the items through legitimate means for many years. According to the maker, Wealthy Baker, the boots rely not only on the power of illusion, but the power of potential time-weave cutting and microscopic changes to manipulate an environment that have macroscopic effects. Whatever. I can cast Blur one time a day, that's pretty nice. So, there were 2 acolytes and a Wilberg in there. I guess I will try to lure them in here and overpower them. Save game. Temple Fights 3. Which video is this? This is the third one. Okay. Ready.
Right on it.
Whee! Ooh. Moves back. The acolytes are now with him. Oink. How could he hit me through the wall? And why is my mage paralyzed? Oh, thank you for dispelling the paralyzation you cast on me. Where are you coming from? Wandering monsters? I really hope the ones above leave me alone. I don't want a 2 front fight.
I'm here.
Whew.
I see.
I have the feeling these healing spells don't really help much. Spell disrupted, wonderful. The doors of death shall be opened for you.
Give the word.
Will you move a bit away? Okay, I'm getting pretty good at killing them. Melina, check out if there are any traps in here. Otherwise, loot this shit. I won't read books. This is quite a... oh, no? Okay. History of the North 1. History of the North, the first flowering. For millennia, gold elves dwelt in Ilefan, where Waterdeep now stands, and Irlan along the River Shining. From the ornate forest cities, they traded with emerging human nations like Netherville and Illusk, and repulsed the attacks of the goblin races. Meanwhile, dwarven clans united as the nation of Delzone, named for the dwarf who forged the Union. The nation, existing primarily underground, extended from the Ice Mountains to the Nether Mountains. The Silvermoon Pass was its western border, and the Narrow Sea its eastern shore. Orcs came from north of the spine of the world, but were turned back in great slaughter by the elves. To this day, this is the homeland and stronghold for orcs and similar races. Okay. But I won't keep the books. No need for that. Ooh! Spell. History of the North 2. History of the North, the Crown Wars. Humans immigrated in bands from the Shining Sea and up to the Sword Coast. They became seafarers, striking out across the waves to the Moonshaes, Mintan, Huasim, and the Northern Islands. Elves engaged in an unceasing war against each other, with the humans and orcs taking over the resulting ruins. Perhaps the greatest calamity to befall the fair folk was the Dark Disaster, a killing magic that took the form of a dark, burning cloud. It enshrouded the kingdom of Mirita, and when it faded away some months later, not an elf lived, nor were trees left, only an open, blasted moor, the High Moor. Oh boy, that's more to read. All was not dark for the elves, although in retreat as barbarian humans and orc hordes grew in strength, their power rose in the elven court in Everwesker, remaining a stronghold to this day. They conceived of cooperation between dwarfs, kindly humans and other elves for mutual survival against orcs, marauding humans and the types of beasts, ogres, bugbears, trolls, goblins, gnolls, and other non-human creatures, led by the rising power of giants. Astonishingly, in at least 3 places, the fallen kingdoms and the cities of Silverymoon and Mistranor, they succeeded with shining grace. To the east, on the sandy shores of the calm and shining Narrow Sea, humans' fishing village grew into small towns, and then joined together as the nation of Netheril. Sages believed the fishing towns were unified by a powerful human wizard, who had discovered a book of great magic power that had survived from the days of thunder. A book that legend calls the Nether Scrolls. Under this nameless wizard and those who followed, Netheril rose in power and glory, becoming both the first human land in the north and the most powerful. Some say this discovery marked the birth of human wizardry, since before then mankind had only shamans and witch doctors. For over 3,000 years Netheril dominated the north, but even its legendary wizards were unable to stop their final doom. Okay. More books. Reading time. History of the North. Which band? Oh. History of the North, the Elven Exodus. This era left behind elven strongholds ripe for pillaging by humans and orcs. When elves chose to leave the north and travel to Evermeet, their works quickly disappeared, leaving only places like the old road and a ruined port in the high forest to mark Irland's passing. And yet it was not only the elves who would disappear from their long-held homes. The human nations of Netheril also stood on the brink of history. Doom for Netheril came in the form of a desert, devouring the Narrow Sea and spreading to fill its banks with dry dust and blowing sand. Legend states, when the great wizards of Netheril realized the land was lost, they abandoned it and their countrymen, fleeing to all corners of the world and taking the secrets of wizardry with them. More likely this was a slow migration that began 3,000 years ago and reached its conclusion 1,500 years later. Whatever the truth, wizards no longer dwelt in Netheril. To the north the once majestic dwarven stronghold of Delzoon fell upon hard days. Then the orcs struck. Orcs have always been foes in the north, searching out the holds every few tens of generations when their normal haunts can no longer support the burgeoning numbers. This time they charged out of their caverns in the spine of the world, poured out from abandoned mines in the grey peaks, screamed out of lost dwarf holes in the ice mountains, waged forth from crypt complexes in the nether mountains, and stormed aboard the bowls of the high moon mountains. Never before since has there been such an outpouring of orcs. Delzoon crumbled before this onslaught and was driven in on itself.